What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another YouTube video. I know it's been a minute, but I've been waiting to put out some good content that I really believe in, and I think this video will be really good for you guys. Over the past few weeks, I feel like the universe has been trying to teach me the same lesson over and over again, and it's one that I think is very valuable, so I'd like to share it with you guys. Before I start, I want to let you guys know that while I haven't been uploading much on YouTube, I have been working on a lot of other things. And one of those is a podcast with my buddy French called Fitness for Thought. If you haven't already checked it out, the link is in my Instagram bio. Otherwise, you can listen to it on all platforms. We're releasing episodes every Saturday, and I'm really happy with how it's been going. I think we've had some good topics, and hope you guys check it out. Well, I want to talk about setting goals in this video. And specifically, I want to talk about the difference between an outcome goal and a process goal. I also want to give you some tips on how to stay on top of your goals. So over the past few weeks, I've improved how I view my goals and go after them in a lot better of a way. It started, I guess, when I went to max out about 2 weeks ago, and I hit a 305 bench press.
Come on. Push. There you go.
That was a 10-pound PR, so I was really happy. And then I went to max out on squat, which is pretty much my favorite lift. I think I'm pretty decent at squat, so I put a lot of focus into it, and I've been really proud of some of the results I've been seeing. But when I went to max out, I failed at 455. And I've had that max for probably about 8 months. So I was really disappointed because I was hitting, 435 pounds for triples.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I was hitting, just all these PRs, and I could just feel that I was getting a lot better. I was very frustrated, and it kind of killed my mood for the next week. But eventually I maxed out again, and I hit 470 pounds.
Let's go! Come on!
So I was really super happy about that, but I say all this to demonstrate the downsides of setting outcome goals. Outcome goals are big picture goals that aren't always in your control. They focus more on the end result and less on the process of going after the goal that you want. And the problem with these is that they don't always demonstrate all the progress you made along the way. And so I was so focused on hitting a PR on squat. Like, I had a range of weight that I wanted to hit, and when I didn't hit that, it made me completely shut myself down and forget about all the progress I made along the way. So right now I'm currently taking 2 classes, one called Sociology and Psychology for Physical Activity, and one called Psychological Skills for Sports Participants. And as if it were God trying to teach me this lesson, a few days after I maxed out, we talked about this very thing in my classes. We went over how to set process goals, and these are things that you can control, and they set you up for long-term success. So, for example, instead of setting the goal to bench 315, I could set the goal of staying in the pocket, which is, following your program and your the weights listed strictly, and working on the technique for your lift. Now, not all outcome goals are bad. I'm not saying that you can't have the end in sight or have those long-term goals, because you do need to know what you're going after. But what I am saying is they can get pretty daunting, and you can have your mind weighing down on you of all these things you want to achieve. You probably have a lot of goals that you're trying to go after, but that can get kind of frustrating. So what I am saying is you should start setting these goals in a little bit of a different way. So how would we do this? So I recommend doing two things. So first off, I would recommend getting a planner. I have a Legend planner, and I got this from my buddy Adam, and it basically breaks down everything that's important to you in life into different areas of your life. So your career, your finances, your relationships, your health and fitness, your spiritual, personal development, all that stuff. And it breaks them down into different steps, smaller goals, weekly, daily, monthly. It has routines in there, it has affirmations, it has all this stuff. And it's really great. I love it for keeping myself accountable. Just journaling in it every night or every day has forced me to be more disciplined in how I look at my goals. And that's another thing people don't really think about when they set goals. A lot of these sports teams, they might set a goal at the beginning of the year, we want to win a championship. And then they go to practice every day, they do all this stuff, but they don't really revisit that goal. And they don't really talk about what they need to do along the way to make themselves the best version that they can be. So this journal really helped me kind of break down, 3 month, 6 month, year from now goals. So I really recommend getting something like that. If you can't get something like that, I'd recommend writing down everything that's important to you in each of those areas. So like I said, career, finance, relationship, all that stuff. And then write down how important they are on a scale of 1 to 10. So, you can make a list of this and you're gonna rate how important they are. Then you're gonna rate how well you're doing from a scale of 1 to 10 in each of these for each of these goals. So let's say your goal is to eat clean 5 days a week. And right now you're eating clean maybe 2 or 3 days a week, then you're kind of cheating on your diet. Well, you probably put like a 5 or a 6. You're not doing great, but you're not doing horrible. But then you're gonna look at the biggest, and this is something we did in my class that I thought was really useful. And that's why I really like the classes that I'm taking right now. But you're gonna look at the biggest discrepancies between your goals. So if you have a goal listed at 10, it's very important to you, 9 or 10, but maybe your performance right now is like a 4 or a 5, then that's a goal you really need to work on and that you need to put emphasis into. So that'll get you started on what you really need to focus on. And the reason I think this is a good way to start is because, two things will probably happen when you go to make goals. You're either the type of person that's super ambitious, New Year's resolution type, write down 100 goals, or you're gonna write down like 1 or 2 things, or maybe you don't even write them down. You have them in the back of your head. Yeah, I wanna do this, and you don't even focus on it. Both sides of the spectrum, it's really hard to actually focus on what goals you want to achieve, because it's really hard to focus on a bunch of goals at once, or it's like selling yourself short. So I think this is a good way to start. Also make sure your goals are specific and measurable. You want to be able to measure your goals so that there's no leeway in whether or not you're achieving them. So instead of saying, I want to be a better runner, say, I want to run 2 miles a day, 3 times a week until December 25th. And that'll prepare me for a 7 or 8 mile run. Something like that. Something that you can actually measure. And then, if you're not on track with your goals, don't just give up on them, just readjust them. Maybe say, I want to run at least 5 miles a week until the month of December. And then I'll run 7 or 8 miles. So by adjusting them, it kind of gives you a little bit more leeway. You don't get discouraged, and you're not so anxious about that December 25th date because you have a range of when that goal can be done. So everyone's going to procrastinate, but this is just a way for you to give yourself a little bit more time and maybe reduce some of the anxiety that comes, because I know some anxiety can come when you're setting goals. How can I accomplish all these things at once? Well, I think this is a great way. Another tip I would give is remember to reward yourself when you achieve a goal. Maybe take yourself out to eat, or buy yourself a new shirt, or do something that you really enjoy, because that'll give yourself something to work towards, and that reward system will keep you motivated. Another great tip I have is identify possible barriers that could prevent you from achieving your goals, and then plan how you're going to overcome these. So this is just a great way to prioritize and execute. If your goal is to read every night before bed, but you're always on your phone instead, maybe put a time cap on your phone. So identify, my problem before going to bed is that I'm not reading, is that I'm on my phone. The solution is I'm going to put a time cap on Instagram or Twitter, so that it's going to remind me, hey, you got to get off and you got to start reading. Or maybe put your phone in a different room. Anything like that. That's another great tip that I didn't really think about when I was setting goals. You think about setting goals and then you think that's enough, but nobody's perfect. You're gonna lose motivation or run into barriers. So it's good for you to plan ahead and identify these barriers, so that when they come, because they will come, you can figure out how to fix them, and you'll already know what to do, and it'll give you more of a focus on that you need to achieve these goals. So you're enforcing the discipline, you're writing it out. This is what I need to do if I get off track. And I think that's another great tip. So to summarize, outcome goals versus process goals. Outcome goals are great. You got to have a long-term view of what you want to accomplish, but you should focus more on the process of focusing on the little things along the way, giving yourself those short-term goals to keep yourself motivated, and not overwhelm yourself with maybe not achieving those goals. That can always sit in the back of your head, and you don't want that, because it's more about who you become along the way, and that'll probably take you further and actually help you achieve what you want to achieve. So I hope some of these tips helped you guys. I know they've helped me a lot more recently, becoming disciplined with some of my goals. I hope you got something out of this video. So like I said, check out the podcast if you guys want to see more content. Otherwise, I'm going to try and post on here more. I've been posting a lot on my Instagram, so if you want to see a few clips from my training, they're usually on my Instagram. Hope this video helped you guys. Expect more videos to come soon. If you liked the video, give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video. Out.